Hello everyone and welcome to our almost regular Hackers League workshops. We're continuing with the online live streams on different topics about Tone, building on Tone, developing the mini apps. And today I have my great colleague from Tone Foundation, Pavel Shuvalov. Pavel Shuvalov is the analytics lead at Tone Foundation. He's developing a lot of data solutions and also is one of the main judges for the on-chain data analytics track. So today we're going to have a very interesting live stream on what's the analytics layer on Ton, how do you develop the on-chain data solutions. If you have any questions, just please drop them on the hackers chat or the comments on the YouTube live stream or on Twitter. Feel free to ask anything related to the on-chain data analytics track, the solutions on Ton, or anything that you would like to know from Pavel. I'm going to review those questions and ask them here live. And this recording, this workshop is going to be recording, and these recordings will stay on our YouTube and on our Twitter. So you'll be able to rewatch this and share with your friends. Okay, that was the introduction from my side. Pavel, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for taking the time. Please feel free to start with your workshop, and of course, just start with a quick introduction on how did you get to Ton, why are you building on Ton, and what are you doing in Ton?
Thanks, Kelena. Hi, everyone. I'm Pavel. I'm analytics lead at Ton Foundation. So I've been around Ton for 2 years. 2 years ago, I decided to switch to blockchain field, and when I found Ton blockchain, first I decided that it's something incredible, something very fresh, very interesting from tech perspective, and I started to learn it, and I understood that analytics is quite a challenge in blockchain world in general, and especially in Ton. So I've accepted this challenge, and for the last 2 years, I'm trying to make Ton blockchain data more transparent and trying to build products on this data. And for the last 7 months, I'm trying to help Ton Foundation to get more insights from the data, and also to run the Open League competition. So today I will try to share some insights, some ideas how to work with data on Ton, and I'll try to share some best practice, and I hope we'll have some questions to discuss, because I think it's the most productive way to communicate. So, as I already mentioned, I'm analytics lead at Ton Foundation, and I'm responsible for the Open League. And also I'm responsible for integration of Ton data and external data platforms. Yeah. Today I will talk about data layer and architecture patterns on Ton blockchain. And first of all, let's discuss what does data layer mean. So here is some classical architecture from Web2 world, 3-tier architecture with client side, front end, server side, backend, and database. So it's quite common for most of Web2 applications. For For Web3, it looks like a bit different, and a lot of developers are expecting something like this, just the app and blockchain. So blockchain could replace server side and database layer in theory, but in practice, it works for simple DApps. For example, I will show you a simple example for DApp with front end that interacts with RPC node. RPC node is working with Tone node, and hence Tone node is working with blockchain. Here is it's just an example of DEX. It's ToneFi DEX, and the user can enter amount in to swap one token to another, and the user get an expected amount out and is able to send transaction. Everything is quite simple, and this architecture will work. But what if we are trying to build something more complicated? For example, it's also the same DEX, but here we have some whitelisted tokens. We have history charts for prices or TVL, something else. And it's impossible to build such application with previous architecture. We need something more complicated. And we again need backend and database. We need database to store price history, to store whitelisted tokens, but in case of Web3 application, we also need some indexer to index data from blockchain and to ingest it to our database. And it is even more complicated than classical three-tier architecture. So here comes data layer. So data layer is a layer of your application that is responsible for data interaction between blockchain and your logic that allows you, for example, to work with historical data, to build auxiliary data marts for fast lookups, and to build analytics on top of this data. I will show some examples. For example, Jetons. On Tone, we have Jeton standard TEP74. It is like ERC20 the EVM world. But it is a bit different. In ERC20, we have all holders stored in one dictionary inside token smart contract. But Tone architecture is different, and we're using another approach. Every holder has its own Jeton wallet that holds its balance. So there is no one place on chain where you can get total amount of holders. You can get total supply, but not the number of holders. And if you need something like this, for example, explorers are showing total number of holders. To show these numbers, you need to have these numbers pre-computed on the data layer. Another example, different charts. Everyone like charts. So, for example, we are going to show historical values for supply, for like profitability of your instrument, and it's almost impossible to store this data on chain. So you have to index it every block or every period of time, store it in your database, and present for your users. It's also a task for data layer. And one more example. A lot of projects are trying to build a point system. For example, you want to reward your users for active participation in your protocol, and in most cases it doesn't make sense to build it on chain. So a lot of projects are doing it off chain, and to build it off chain, you have to index all the actions performed by your audience, and to calculate points and present it to the users. So let's go into the details. I hope you're already familiar with Tone, and I hope you know that Tone is a unique blockchain. We have three main architecture details that is different from the most chains. From the most other chains, we have infinite sharding approach. We have asynchronous messaging model, and every address on chain is a smart contract. Imagine you are going to index data from the chain, and even at this step, you will see that Tone is quite different from the other chain. For example, for Bitcoin and Ethereum, all you need is to get the latest block and to get all transactions from this block. In our case, we have master chain and we have base chain. And inside the base chain, we have multiple shard chains. And during the indexing process, you have to track all the shards inside each master chain block, and to track all the blockchains between these shards. So it's more complicated than, for example, for Bitcoin. But asynchronous messaging is even more challenging. For example, here is a diagram for jet and transfer. Quite simple operation, very popular in every chain. On Tone, it works like this. For example, Alice is going to send some token to Bob, and Alice is sending a special transfer message to special smart contract that holds Alice balance for this token, and this smart contract is sending internal message to the same smart contract for Bob's, and after that, Bob receives notification that his balance was updated, and all these messages could reside in different blocks, and this operation can take, for example, like 30 seconds. Also, in the EVM world, we have events, and most of smart contracts are emitting events, and you can use it for analytics on Tone. It's quite rare, and for most cases, you have to reconstruct actions from all the messages from every operation. So imagine you are building the app, and your the app requires data layer, and you have different options. First of all, you can use third-party solutions. I will talk about it on the next slides. The other alternative is to use is to build your data layer in-house for your use case. And here you can choose between two options: to use some open source solutions. I will also cover this option, and to build it from scratch. It's also possible if you have a lot of free time. So let's start with data providers. Currently, we have a lot of good quality data providers. On this slide, I collected data providers from our ecosystem. First of all, it is Tone Center. I suppose it was the first RPC node provider in the ecosystem. It provides you with blockchain access, and also it allows you to work with high-level entities like JSONs, NFTs. It has free and paid plans, and also Tone Center has open source version, so you can host it by your own. Another major data provider is Tone API. It also has free and paid options, includes the same feature set like Tone Center, but also it allows you to build streaming architecture because they have event notifications. Also, I would like to mention dtone. It also has the same features, but also dtone provides you with GraphQL interface, and in some cases it's very convenient because you can build quite complicated queries that is almost impossible with REST API. Also, dtone has a special service to get Tone node as a service because it's quite complicated to run and maintain your own node. And also we have ToneX API that is quite similar with Tone Center. It's free, and it's free for now. But apart from this data provider from our ecosystem, Tone is also present on some major data providers that is chain agnostic. For example, QuickNode, ChainStack, and GetBlock. For example, if you are building multi-chain product, maybe you already have access and pay subscription on QuickNode to work with Solana, Ethereum, and so on. And in this case, it's quite convenient to use these data providers. Most of them are working with Tone Center implementation, so you can switch from one to another. It's quite unified. So it's good option for multi-chain products. And if you're going to choose which data provider to use, I would recommend you a simple tool called tonestat.us. It's just Grafana with real-time metrics for all major data providers. You can check it for actual state of every data provider, and you can choose, for example, the most reliable data provider to work with. Regarding the architecture of possible the app in case of working with data provider. In general, data providers allows you to work with blockchain directly without backend, so you can use special endpoints provided to you in your front end. Most of data providers allows you to limit this endpoint to special domains, so no one else will use this endpoint. If you need something more complicated, you can build your backend with database and build special indexer to work with data provider to extract data from blockchain and to put it into your database. Now let's discuss some best practice, some tricks that could be useful to build reliable product. First of all, consider fallbacks. Every infrastructure could go down, so especially in case of spikes of workload on blockchain. So most of data providers are using the same specification of requests, so it isn't so hard to switch from one to another. So just consider it when you're building your data layer. Add some caching layer to show like some cached values to your users, because it's better than to show some error pages. And be ready to switch automatically to another RPC provider in case of some problems. Next, avoid indexing full blockchain. Only on a very limited cases require indexing all blockchain, all blocks from a blockchain. Tone was designed to handle a very huge amount of transactions per second. And even if you are able to index all transactions just today, there is no guarantee that it will be possible in 1 month, because when number of transactions per second will grow significantly, your data pipeline will not be able to catch up, and you can go into troubles. So try to figure out what's the best strategy for your use case to extract only required amount of data. For example, you can subscribe for specific account notifications. For example, you have master smart contract or like multiple vaults with some activity. Also, you can query only latest data, latest transactions for specific accounts. And when you're querying latest data, it's better to use logical time, LT. And even if you are going to go deep into history during the pagination, also it's better to use logical time than timestamp. And in case you are going to index everything or almost everything, consider using open source implementations, for example, Tone Indexer from Tone Center, because this software is battle tested and it's very reliable. Also, in some cases, it is possible to organize your smart contracts in such way that you don't need indexing at all. For example, As I mentioned before, we don't have total number of holders in our Jeton implementation, but we have total supply in our Jeton implementation. And if you are building something similar, you can just add some metrics that is possible to accumulate and store in one smart contract, and to get it when you need it. For example, you can accumulate total volume for every user and to get it directly from smart contract without full indexing. Also, it is not quite common on Ton, but it is possible to emit logs or events. In our case, it is external out messages. So you can just pack all the information about the event that occurred and send it to empty address, and this event will be recorded in blockchain, and it will be quite simple for you to extract it from transactions. So in some cases, you need your own in-house data layer. For example, some projects needs high availability, and also in some cases you need full blockchain indexing. For example, if you are going to build, let's say, a portfolio tracker. As I already mentioned, in this case, my recommendation is to use open source implementation from Ton Center. They have two versions. The first one is working with working directly with the Ton node. So you need to maintain your own node, and you will get all the data from this node. And the second version works with light servers. It is a bit slow, but in some cases it could be a cheap option. Okay, let's talk about external analytical platforms and tools that is available for now. A lot of developers are familiar with such tools like Dune and Flipside. It's great solutions to build dashboards with on-chain data. Currently, Ton data is not available on Dune and Flipside, but it is coming. So this kind of tools are widely used. For example, to build dashboards, to highlight some important metrics for your product, to perform investigations, and to build comprehensive metrics calculations. For example, some of projects are using DeFi Llama to calculate volume is using Dune to calculate volume and report it to DeFi Llama. Previously, we had a tool called Analytical. It is free Ton native BI solution inspired by Dune, but unfortunately now it is deprecated. It is still available, but no new data is indexing here. For now, we have CryptoQuant. It's also similar to Dune. It allows you to write SQL queries, to write and run it on top of full history of Ton transactions. Also, we are waiting for integration from Dune Flipside, last node. It will be announced shortly. And for now, also we have public data lake. Currently, it includes blocks, messages, and transactions. That is raw data. In a couple of weeks, we're going to add jetons and swaps and some other high-level metrics. So if you're familiar with big data stack, you can use it to build some analytical solutions on your own. So also internally, we have data solution that allows us to build to run the Open League. The Open League is a data-driven competition between projects to drive different metrics like active wallets, trading volume, TVL, and so on. We are trying to build the Open League as open initiative, and all the information from the Open League is open source. So all the smart contracts, all the details about the smart contracts a part of open source repository. So you also can use it, for example, if you are going to build some analytical solutions for major applications. And also for mini apps, we have a special solution for off-chain analytics. So it is required for all participants in the Open League, but also it can be used for every mini app. We encourage everyone to use it. There is a couple of other analytical platforms I would like to mention. These platforms quite useful to highlight your products, and else it provides independent metrics exposed to everyone. The first one is DeFi Llama. It is dedicated to DeFi products like DEXs, perpetual trades, platforms, aggregators, and so on. It allows to track TVL volume and also pools. So it's also used by analysts and also for like users, because they can use it to choose the most profitable pool to invest in. Another platform I'd like to mention is DiapRadar. It also very important for us because a lot of our projects have good ranks here. So if you are building something with a huge amount, if you are going to build something with huge amount of transaction, consider listing on DiapRadar as soon as possible, because they don't have ability to track previous activities, so it's better to apply for listing before you launch. So it's it's available for everyone. You just go to the platform and submit in your smart contract details. Also, Ton already integrated into DEX screener and DEX tools. So if you have token, these platforms could give you like charts with trading activity, with prices, and also they have high quality leaderboards for tokens. Yeah, that's all. So now let's discuss something. I'm ready to answer to any questions related to Tone architecture, analytics, data, integrations. So feel free.
And I'm back here. First of all, thank you so much for running through this presentation. Definitely, we're gonna reuse it for some other events as well. So just refer to the knowledge base. And now I think we'll start with the simplest question, but that's the one that we've had asked around 10 times, I think. What are those projects that you think should be built at the hackathon, and what are those projects that you think are needed for the Tone data ecosystem? What are those directions to explore and those types of solutions to work on?
Yeah, I suppose the question is related to analytics tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently, as I already mentioned, Tone is completely different from the other chains. And for example, if you are like launching L2 on EVM stack, you already have all the tools from this ecosystem. In our case, we need to build it from scratch. And currently, there are some tools that are not exist in our ecosystem. For example, we have a lot of users and we have a lot of scam. Fake Jetons, fake NFTs, honeypots, all of this stuff is our problem, and it's a good it's a good space to build analytical solutions in like fraud prevention area. For example, detecting honeypots, detecting fake Jetons, maybe with AI, because it's also a big trend now, especially in security. Also, we have quite unique tool set for smart contracts. So we have Fancy and we have Tect. And we have the same problems like all other chains for smart contract security, and it's also an area where analytics can help. Like any tasks related to simulation and checking smart contracts, including even smart verification. And other area is all kinds of portfolio trackers, all kinds of trading bots. All this stuff is powered by advanced analytics, and it's also a good space to build your product, especially having in mind that we have a lot of users in our mini app ecosystem. So all new bots that helps users to trade, that helps users to discover new opportunities, especially for DeFi. For example, optimize investments, track portfolio, like smart alerts and so on. In case you are able to go deep into history, you can start with some kind of research and investigations on top of data we already have. because for now we have like something like 2 billion transactions and something like 100 million smart contracts, and it's a huge amount of data, and a lot of insights could be found here. So in analytics track, you can not just build a product, you can build, you can make a research, and you can find some insights about our ecosystem, about our users. So feel free to play with data, and there is a chance that you will find something.
Thank you. Yeah, that's always the fun part about playing with the data, that you can find lots of interesting insights. Okay, I have another question which might not be exactly related to the topic of the workshop, but it says, is there any equivalent to Ethereum-like sign-in messages without gas on Ton, just to get the signature that can be verified, but not really get the user to do any transaction, like send any tokens? Is there anything like that on Ton that the teams can use for their for the vault verification?
We have gasless transactions. There are two implementations, one from Tonekeeper team, and one is part of V5 wallet. So it's widely used. For example, gasless transactions, we use it widely during hamster launch, Catizen, dogs launch. So yeah, and if the question is related to off-chain signatures, we have off-chain signatures in Ton Connect standard, and you can use off-chain signatures to verify users during authentication. So it's part of Ton Connect standard. But unfortunately, it's impossible to sign arbitrary payload using Ton Connect standard. So you have to find some workarounds here.
Super. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see if you have any other questions coming in. I think we have answered most of the questions that were that were appearing often on the comments, and the questions that the question that was just asked. If there's anyone else that wanted to ask the question, or if you're watching this workshop in the recording and you have any question or any request for feedback or advice, just please feel free to go to the Hackathon X chat, which is just the Hackers League hackathon chat on Telegram, and you can easily and you can easily find the hackathon support there. You can find all of the questions and all of the answers on the chat. I'm also reading the hackathon chat often, so I'm making sure to get all of the answers from our team for the builders. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, Pavel, for joining, for running the workshop, and for getting the answers. I have just also pinged the guys on the comments saying that we have the answers here on the live stream. Hopefully that's useful for the builders that are watching us and that are participating in the on-chain data analytics track. And I hope that we are gonna see most of the viewers on the live judging session as finalists, of course.
Thank you. Good luck. Keep building. We're waiting for new builders and new products. There are a lot of interesting tasks on our Ton ecosystem.